We just got the first update of the season, and as always, there were some pretty big changes to drop spots, like Utopia City being overtaken by bugs, and is now called Dystopia City. And the craziest thing about this drop is that there is now a 50% chance, along with Demon's Debris, that it gets the Queen Bug, which has the Mythic OXR rifle and the double jump medallion. And this has already caused Peterbot to tweet that he will now be landing here for the season and for LAN. This is now Peterbot's third drop spot this season, starting at Ranger's Ruin, then changing to OXR HQ, and now Dystopia City. This is definitely a very Peterbot-like move, changing his drop spot to now land on a Mythic. But the interesting thing to keep note of is the fact that it's a 50-50 between Demons and Dystopia on getting the Mythic and the Medallion, which will be something to keep note of moving forward. And also the fact that Peterbot is now triple contested by Epic Will and Tay-Tay's trio at Dystopia for LAN, and both of those teams have already officially said they are not leaving the POI, at least as of now. I would assume Peterbot is expecting one of these teams, if not maybe both, to end up changing their drop spots. But if they don't, I definitely think this is going to be an interesting decision on Peterbot's part, and one they could potentially regret, as I think OXR was a very splittable POI and probably gave them their best chance of potentially winning the LAN. But at the end of the day, I'm never going to doubt Peterbot. He could probably win with triple contested Dystopia City. But to swap to a triple contested drop that only has a 50% chance of getting the Mythic, I'm definitely not sure if that's going to be a worthwhile change if it does stay triple contested. What do you think of this drop spot change for Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual? And how does this change your prediction of them for the FNCS Global Championship? And also, how does this change your prediction for Vanya, Pixie, Marius now that they are once again uncontested at the OXR HQ? I definitely still have Peterbot doing very, very well, but I'm definitely going to have to move him down a little bit if he's triple contested. And then Vanya, Pixie, Marius were in my top 3 before they were conned by Peterbot, and now that they're unconned again, I'm probably going to put them right back in my top 3. So my top 3 for LAN is probably going to be something like Vanya, Acorn, and Queasy. That's probably going to be my top 3. Then moving on to another huge notable POI change, we got to talk about Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs at Supernova. Supernova received some crazy nerfs in this update. The grind rail no longer works. It barely sends you at all. So Clix and his trio can no longer use that for rotates at all. Then they also fixed the buffed POI drones. So whenever they get the gold POI and they have the drones above their POI, they used to give so much extra heals and some good weapons. But Fortnite finally reverted those drones back to what they used to be. And then Fortnite also changed the capture flag, which is not 100% spawn, which also was giving Clix a lot of loot and extra heals as well. So Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs definitely received a pretty big nerf. I'm not gonna lie though, I kind of expect them to fix the grind rail change, because I feel like that's something that they want in the game. But we're definitely gonna have to see if Fortnite does fix the grind rail. The grind rail was also a huge part of Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs rotate mid game. They would trade their surge early, and then they would use the grind rail to go center map. So if they ever got a south pull, it wouldn't be too bad, and they could always be on top of the zones and never really be behind. Now that the grind rail is pretty much gone and they're gonna have to figure out something else, I think this could be a huge change for their trio, basically completely changing how they have to play mid games for the rest of the season and for LAN. But let me know what you think of this grind rail nerf and the loot drone nerf for Supernova. I definitely think it's really gonna affect Clix, but let me know what you think. Then another drop spot change we have after today's update. Baka, Pars, and Pump have moved their drop spot from the tennis court split to now up contesting Adapter, Badlore, and Mansour, right above Shining Span. So Pix, Darm, and Dimas are now uncontested at the tennis court split. And this has been a sneaky, underrated EU team all year long. And if they're uncontested heading into the LAN, are definitely going to have a very good placement at their first LAN. But we're just going to have to see if Baka, Pars, and Pump stick to this drop spot. And if you guys want to take a look, here's a glimpse at the entire drop map after today. If you guys have not seen the drop map for the FNCS Global Championship as of recent, with all of today's changes and everything else that's happened up until this point. Now for predictions, I still don't have predictions for the LAN yet, as there's just too much drop movement and inconsistent play from some of the LAN teams so far. But as we get closer and closer to the LAN, we're less than 2 weeks away now. People are going to stop changing their drop spots. And after this last Division 1 finals this weekend, I'm going to make my official predictions next week. So stay tuned for that by subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications to not miss out on that prediction video. And also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like on it so it gets pushed out to even more people and they can see some new drop updates that happened in today's update, and also the drop spot changes we got for some of the LAN teams as well today. That's gonna do it for me in this video. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.